We're taking the world back, one video at a time. And tonight I want to talk about numerous Las Vegas shooting witnesses are ending up dead. This is very strange. Is it just coincidence? I don't know, but I want to share this with you. And first of all, there was a couple with Henderson ties dies in a crash after surviving the Las Vegas shooting. And you see the picture of the couple here. It was during the third or fourth lull in gunfire when the two got up hand in hand and started running. They ran for their lives and didn't stop until they got uninjured, their daughter said. 2 days after the shooting attack, the couple who lived in Henderson part-time and owned a plumbing company returned to the Riverside County home in California. They would go on to spend the next 2 weeks more in love than ever with each other and with their life. After the shooting, they heard from all the people they cared about most. We were so happy, said Brooke 20. The last 2 weeks of their lives were really just spent living in the moment. But on the night of October 16th, the couple's younger daughter, 16-year-old Madison Carver, heard a loud bang outside her window. When she ran down the street and rounded the corner, a familiar vehicle engulfed in flames came into view. Dennis, 52, and Lorraine, 53, had died together less than half a mile from their home. According to the Riverside County Fire Department, their vehicle crashed into a metal gate outside the community at 10:50 p.m. on the 20,000 block of Avenida de Arboles. It took firefighters nearly an hour to completely put out the fire, the department said in a statement. So yeah, this is strange. A missing Las Vegas shooting witness shot dead outside church. Chad Nishimura killed after giving conflicting statement about Stephen Paddock. A key witness to the Las Vegas shooting massacre who mysteriously vanished shortly after giving a statement that conflicted with the official narrative has been found shot dead outside of Central Las Vegas Church, Valley Church. Chad Nishimura was a valet worker for the Mandalay Bay Hotel who parked the suspected Las Vegas shooting gunman's car and gave an interview saying Stephen Paddock was a normal guy who didn't have many bags. Nishimura gave a statement to ABC affiliate KITV4 News, but the article was later pulled from the network's website. So that's strange there. Who's making them pull the website? Somebody with a lot of power and control? Somebody in the government? Shadow government? I don't know. After his account was published, Nishimura disappeared and all of his social media accounts were deleted, with his friends and coworkers saying he was totally unreachable. See, and that's really strange because I find that so often too involving these things like this. You go to Facebook and their page will be pulled. I mean, you know, a lot of times it just doesn't make any sense why they do it. It's just like they're trying to hide evidence and stuff so people can't find it and do their own research and find out the truth. You know, they just immediately unable to access, this page is unreachable right now. You know, they do this stuff all the time. Now, after finally resurfacing, the young hotel worker has been murdered in what police claim looks like a botched robbery. Now, that's strange. Members of the Iglesia del Mundo Church say they heard a gunshot and ran outside and found Chad Nishimura laying on the ground next to a car, immediately called 911. Mr. Nishimura's Bible, police said, was found on the floor about 10 feet from where he had been left for dead. It's very sad because he was just arriving to church, Metropolitan Police Department Homicide Lieutenant Dan McGrath said. According to the parishioners who found him, he was irregular at the church's early morning services, but they hadn't seen him attend the last couple of weeks. According to the LVRJ Metro officers, received a report of a man down outside Iglesia La Luz del Mundo, or light of the word church, at the intersection of Eastern and Cedar Avenues just after 5:35 a.m. Now, this is strange. You know, it says something about a man, his integrity. He's going to church. He has faith in God, obviously. And he just shot in by the church there. That's really bizarre in itself. I think I know where he is now. You know, he's gone to a better place. But, you know, this is very strange indeed, especially since he was possibly a key witness. Now, some people might conflicting beliefs in whether he actually was the one that contacted Paddock or not, but the evidence seems to support that. It seems like a lot of stuff is being covered up here. And we know a lot of stuff's been covered up in the Las Vegas shooting because I've talked about that over and over. There's so much evidence. I mean, anybody and everybody realizes that that's a cover-up. And I'm going to continue to expose it, of course. And I appreciate all of your support. You know, you want the truth, I want the truth, and we got to get the truth. We're going to take back the world. When officers arrived, When officers arrived, McGrath said they found another churchgoer performing CPR on Nishimura, who had a gunshot wound to his upper body. The victim was taken to University Medical Center's trauma unit, where he died from his injury about 6:15 a.m. At the scene, churchgoers told police when they rushed outside after hearing the gunshot, they didn't see any suspects or cars leaving the area. Now, that's bizarre indeed, too. You know, they run out there and it's like everything's vanished. Detectives say they're still trying to figure out whether he was targeted or if he was a victim by opportunity. And of all places by a church, you don't never hardly hear something like that. It's almost like he was targeted. Yeah. Somebody didn't want him talking anymore or something, could be. Detectives say they're still trying. Okay, yeah. McGrath said the area, which is just north of U.S. Highway 95 underpass, has some problems. Based on there, it could have been a robbery, he said. Right now, it looks like it could have been a robbery gone bad. The homicide lieutenant added there may have been a struggle between the victim and the shooter because the driver's side door of the man's car was open when officers arrived. And see, there you go. There's evidence right there. This page isn't available, and you see that quite often when you try to investigate. So that's why when something goes down, I try to go to these Facebook pages quick and get pictures and take save them to my computer, evidence, save all this stuff real quick before they take it down, because Facebook pretty quickly takes stuff down, and evidence helps us to solve cases and helps us to find out the truth. But you can see right here, Chad Nishimura's Facebook profile was deleted after he disappeared. Now that's strange indeed. Another one here. Let's see, another Las Vegas survivor who claimed there were multiple gunmen found dead. Danny Contreras, a Las Vegas shooting survivor who claimed there were multiple gunmen involved in the attack, has been found murdered with multiple gunshot wounds. See, it just gets stranger and stranger. And there's a picture of him there. He looks like a really nice guy with his dog there. Very unfortunate. When Clark County Fire Department emergency personnel entered the vacant home, they found Danny Contreras on the floor with at least one gunshot wound and requested the Metropolitan Police Department's homicide unit, Lieutenant Dan McGrath said. Police later said that the man had been shot in the upper torso several times. Danny Contreras tweeted the day after the attack that he was lucky to be alive after he was chased by two gunmen. That's really interesting right there. So he's a key witness to being more than one gunman. And like I said, we have them up there in Paddock's room, but they could have been also in other places too, see? So a key witness to more than one gunman, and then he's shot and killed. That's very interesting. His social media post from his Twitter account, which has now been mysteriously suspended, see, there you go again, that was shared several times, said, "Feeling lucky to be alive, can't believe I got out of the concert alive. Two men chasing me with guns. Not everyone's so lucky." And there it is right there, a tweet. And he's saying he was chased by two gunmen, and then later he ends up dead. He's exposing this, and he's talking. He's a key witness, an eyewitness. He saw it with his own eyes in person as it happened live. And so, obviously, if something was going on, involving those higher up, power and control that want to continue with their cover-up, they don't want him talking because he's, can imagine this guy gets on national TV all over the place, and he's saying that he was there in person and saw it live with his own eyes, more than one gunman. Yeah, See, that's quite interesting right there. Just like, of course, the evidence in regards to the shooting and all, they won't show us the video and all that stuff because it's evidence. And this is a solid piece of evidence when you got an eyewitness like that. So that's interesting. From the Las Vegas Review-Journal, the Las Vegas man found dead in a vacant home in Northeast Valley has been invited by Clark County Coroner. Police said 35-year-old Danny Contreras was found dead at 7:05 a.m. Monday. A woman who thought she heard a man groaning had called 911 requested a welfare check on the 1500 block of East Carey Avenue and North Nellis Boulevard. Contreras died of multiple gunshot wounds. The court ruled his death as a homicide. Camille Sansegrett, here's a tweet right here. 91 massacre witness Danny Contreras found dead 23 October at East Nelson Lake Mead in Las Vegas. Multiple gunshot wounds, age 35. So, here's another one. Key witness in Las Vegas shooting kills self and daughter following FBI raid. Now this is strange too. A major witness in the massacre. Yeah. John Beelman killed himself and his daughter. A key witness in the Las Vegas shooting massacre. Quite interesting right here. Shortly after an FBI raid on his home. It just gets really strange, it does. And then you got all this other strange stuff happening too. I talk about like the brother of Paddock that was arrested on child porn charges shortly after. You know, that's strange. And I remember seeing a on Netflix story about a man that had eyewitness accounts of strange things involving the Men in Black and stuff. And he went public, made a movie of it. It was on Netflix. Can't remember the name of it, but I watched it recently. Some of you may remember. And he exposed stuff about what he saw in person with the Men in Black. And there was evidence that a UFO had like damaged some of the siding on his home. And then these men came and they and he has an eyewitness to, you know, an alien encounter. And these men come and they, like Men in Black, and they literally redo the siding on his home and take all the evidence away. And he exposed all these encounters that he's had with UFOs and strange stuff, and then they end up arresting him for child porn. And if somebody does it, obviously they should be arrested and they should be convicted. But there's a lot of strange cases, and you know, I've talked about this with other people. It seems that when people expose a lot of stuff, for some odd reason, that's the charge they go after them. We've seen this numerous times. People that you would think would be innocent. So I don't know. It's just strange indeed. It really is. You would like to think that people would not be charged, arrested. I mean, we know there's false arrests that go on. But you certainly hope that some, you know, people high up in the government wouldn't bring false charges on people. But sometimes it seems to happen. It's something we need to be aware of, because we certainly want honesty and integrity in all levels of our government. So let's see here. John Beelman was wanted for questioning by federal agents in connection with a communications device discovered in suspected shooter Stephen Paddock's hotel room. See, this is really interesting. This gets deep here. Investigators searched Beelman's Fairport home the day before he shot his severely disabled daughter and himself, according to sources close to the investigation. Agents executed a search warrant and raided Beelman's Williamsburg Drive home the day before he took his daughter Nicole into the backyard and shot her and then himself in the back of the head with a 12-gauge shotgun. See, that's really strange there too, because if he felt like they were coming after them and coming after his daughter and maybe some of his family members and stuff, maybe he got in his head the best thing to do is to go to another place, leave, because and take his life and his daughter's life. I don't know, because he felt like that they were just not going to leave him alone. You know, it seems that way. John Beelman's 27-year-old daughter Nicole had Rett syndrome, a rare neurological disorder. Nicole Beelman relied upon a wheelchair and was dependent on her parents for care. So she was dependent on them for care. So I guess he figured that if he had to go, then she'd have to go too, because nobody would be care for her. I don't know. According to the report, upon the FBI searching the Mandalay Bay hotel room used by CIA gun runner Stephen Paddock. And see, all this news keeps coming out about this. I was the first one to expose this, you know, and of course YouTube took my video down, and then I appealed it and they put it back up, and it was just all over the place. I mean, people were just putting this video everywhere, and this information, even when it was down, it was like incredible. But you know, I exposed that Stephen Paddock was working with the FBI, and it was a gun sting FBI raid that went bad. He was taken hostage, and they didn't want to go in there because he would be taken out, and then terrorist act was committed by these people. No, I'm not going into all the details, but all the information that's been verified by Anonymous, verified by WikiLeaks. All this I came out with before they even exposed it. I gave it all to you. And now even more is coming out. You know, you see right here. It's interesting stuff, you know. The truth's out there. You got to find it. I'm going to give it to you. We're taking the world back. Cell phone charger was discovered that had no accompanying phone, with SVR technology experts noting that its type of chargers used a charger CP502-5203.0V 600 mAh LIMN02 non-chargeable thin cell battery used in various communication devices by both U.S. forces and CIA forces. Yeah, and that's something I want to mention too. The evidence, and I talked about that before, where there was phone charges and stuff that were found in Stephen Paddock's room with serial numbers on them that only identify to those that are used by FBI and maybe CI and stuff like that. And so that's quite interesting indeed there too, because what does that tell you? They were working with him. You know, it verifies what I was saying about a gun sting gone bad. And you know, they're trying to sell guns and then they were going to use that to trace these people down, this pyramid that forms, and catch these people that are trying to purchase guns, commit terrorist acts. So, you know, but it went bad, and government obviously didn't want to expose that because it would be a huge embarrassment. You know, I mean, it's very obvious there. But yeah, these things are found in there, and so, you know. Oh, and another thing too, what about Paddock's hard drive missing? Yeah, all these just coincidental things. And then the chime line changing, and then the Paddock's home broken into. I mean, come on, really? Do you really want us to believe all this stuff? We're not that dumb. We're taking back the world. We're not stupid. That, you know, some of the stuff they come up with that they think that we're going to believe is just ridiculous. We don't believe that crap. We're too smart for it, right? Of course we are. The company makes this unique lithium battery. This report details the Ultralife Corporation based in Newark, New York, that specializes in military communication systems of the Pentagon, and those lead engineers, the particular communication system developed as John Beelman. So yeah, so he was involved in this, see. He was one of the lead engineers for this particular device. Particular communication systems development. Interesting, very interesting. Oh, and speaking of that, the Pentagon there, yeah, I remember 9/11, all that money went missing. Was it trillions of dollars? Come on, really? So what happened? The plane ran into it and destroyed all the money? No, it just went missing. And you know, a lot of that stuff's used on secret projects. The money that goes missing is used at areas like Area 51 and stuff. I know what goes on. I can tell you a whole bunch of stuff. Listing himself as a product design and manufacturing professional, this report continues John Beelman was employed by Ultralife Corporation between 2007-2012, where he worked on various top-secret communication systems for the U.S. military. Therefore, his leaving to become a top engineer at the General Motors Research Facility located in Rochester, New York. Now, sometimes I just kind of laugh. It's because some comments, so it's just because I'm upbeat and some of the stuff is funny. But the one thing that always makes me snicker a little bit and laugh is when I think about the technology that we have in the United States, the government. And most people are oblivious and have no idea and aware of what it is. But some of the stuff that we have, I have to laugh at it. There's no way not to. Because if people knew some of the stuff, they would just be like I don't know, they'd pass out or they would turn white. Seriously. It's just so crazy, the stuff and technology and the advancement that we have here in the United States. That's, you know, with the high levels of government and stuff. And you just have to laugh about it. That's all you can do, because it's just bizarre. It really is. Fearing that the Ultralife Corporation had been secretly funding the U.S. military communication systems, the CI, this report notes the past Tuesday, October 3rd, the FBI raided the home of John Beelman under secret U.S. federal court warrant, and caused Beelman less than 12 hours later during the early morning hours of Wednesday, October 4th, to wheel out a severely disabled daughter, Nicole, into his home's backyard where she was executed. That's horrible. With Beelman then killing himself, and that was followed 48 hours later, October 6th, by the Pentagon awarding Ultralife Corporation new contracts valued at over $49 million. Wow. The CIA, this report further notes that has long been known to eliminate witnesses due to the murder, sacrifice, false flag operations that including the hundreds of witnesses mysteriously killed following 9/11 tower sacrifice, and likewise hundreds of witnesses mysteriously dying, the King's sacrifice, murder of President John F. Kennedy, and the London Sunday Times reported the odds against these witnesses being dead by February 1967 were 100,000 trillion to 1. Wow. See, I also want to talk about the Kennedy files and stuff being released. I'll get into that, soon. I want to talk about some of that stuff too, because that's very interesting. What's going on with that? The FBI claimed they didn't protect or at the very least put under 24-hour surveillance John Beelman following their raid on his home due to American domestic intelligence experiencing a manpower shortage in the Las Vegas massacre investigation. According to DNC, John Beelman committed the murder-suicide shortly after 5:20 a.m., the Fairport police said. Fairport police said Beelman's wife, Donna Beelman, was inside the home and did not hear the shots that took the life of her husband and daughter. Fairport Police Chief Samuel Farina and John Beelman left behind a goodbye note to his wife that indicated the circumstance of shootings but not a motive. The neighbor Beelman reported that he saw 2 police cars near the home the day before the killings. Farina said this week that the police had not responded to any calls at the home. Wow, that's bizarre right there, too. What is that, the Men in Black showing up? The FBI and federal prosecutors declined to comment. Here's another one. Key witness to the Las Vegas shooting found dead at home. This young lady right here. Kimberly Suchamel. Kimberly Suchamel was one of the lucky ones at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino who managed to escape the hail of bullets without being injured. Shortly after escaping the scene, she made a statement to the media claiming that there were multiple gunmen firing weapons. See, now she's claiming multiple gunmen firing weapons too. This is bizarre. That's what one of the other witnesses did, ended up dead. And to the crowd that she was chased by one such man. When she was questioned on the veracity of her story, given the official story that there were only one gunman, she said that that she was more than 100% sure that she was right. So she's saying more than one gunman. Very interesting right there. Kimberly gave a very detailed account of what she's seen in the days following that horrific event in which she was questioned, the official story being propagated by the mainstream media. She said that she had been watching the news with her family constantly since she had arrived home and that she did not believe that the official version of events made sense. In addition to claiming that there were multiple gunmen at the scene, she also claimed that towards the beginning of the evening that a woman made her way into the stage and warned the crowd that they were going to die. Wow, that's incredible. So she heard that also, along with that other woman, which I put a news story up on that. You know, that other woman that heard it also, and she was she witnessed it, and then she took the warning serious, went up to the hotel with her mom, and then came back. The shooting actually took place 45 minutes right after that woman was screaming that. And it was, and I make note, you know, some people say, oh, people are crazy in Las Vegas. But this woman that was doing this was in the exact area where the bullets rained down. That's what made it significant. And not only that, but the shooting occurred exactly about 45 minutes after this woman screamed this out in that area, in the front row area where the bullets rained down. But, so this was another person. Her and her mom were up in the hotel. They come back down, and they go straight to the news media and do interviews. And you've seen that video I put up. What was her name? Brianna. Yeah, Brianna was the daughter and then the mother. Well, oddly, and I didn't talk much about this, but the mother, I guess it was her. I don't know. She came at me with a vengeance, trying to get her friends and everybody to come after me, and I just set her straight with it. You know, you went to the news media, you made yourself public. You have a right to be. You choose to go on the news. You choose to be in a story. Then you choose to be part of news stories. That's what we do. We get news from different agencies, different people, independent, mainstream news media, and we share it. We get information from each other and we share it, and that's what we do. That's how we make news stories. So if she didn't want to do it, she should have never gone on camera. So I took care of that situation and wanted me to take down the video, which had hundreds of thousands of views. I'm not about to do that, you know. I exposed the truth, and at the time we were trying to figure out if those two people were actually giving their honest name. We found out it was, and then we posted about it. It's no problem. It's just, real news. So yeah, she and her boyfriend were later, okay, so now I'm going back to this girl here. This is the other witness that said the exact same thing. She and her boyfriend were later escorted from the premises. She also said that she had spoken to other survivors who had also mentioned that there were multiple shooters on the fateful night, including one on the ground. According to Kimberly's granddaughter, Julie Norton, she died in the early morning hours of Monday morning at her home. So this is so strange. Another key witness that saw multiple shooters found dead. Norton discovered her granddaughter's body just after 8:30 in the morning when she arrived to take care of her great-granddaughter, Scarlett. Norton said that she believed that Kimberly died in her sleep after her husband left for work. Norton attributed her death directly to stress associated with the shooting. Before she died, Kimberly said that while she was not injured in the devastating attack, that she believed that she was going to be emotionally and mentally scarred for life. That's strange indeed. I mean, I know, obviously she suffered traumatic mental anguish from what happened, and I understand that. Anybody that witnessed something like that, all these dead bodies and shooting and blood and people running and you're scared to death and all, that's trauma that you never forget, and it affects you emotionally, but it's not enough to just physically make you die, not likely. I mean, you're going to have bad dreams and all kind of other stuff, but something else happened. You know, this is bizarre stuff. You've got all these key witnesses, at least 2 of them, direct key witnesses to more than one gunman that end up dead. Yeah. So like this, share it. We're taking the world back.